Welcome back. So starting off the week, Jeff was in Monday morning and spraying putty down on these two plugs for the main landing gear doors. And as you can see, he's just in the process of putting down the first coat, and he ends up putting about 3 or 4 coats on these days to give us good coverage. And there's the first one already up on the machine and mostly or halfway underway actually. So cutting the field areas first and then coming back and doing the flanges after that. And Zach was working on Monday on various other plugs that are in various stages of being ready for having their molds pulled. So there's that one for the outlet vent for the cowling. And I got onto the engine and pulled the prop drive out and managed to actually get it all pulled apart again, same way as I did last time using our press. And so there's the damage there on the shaft there. You see it actually kind of welded all the way around this time. So needless to say, this whole design is basically, out the window. But I did manage to, and there's the inside of it, I did manage to just basically put it all back together without putting the shuttle in there so we can actually run it. And you'll see in a little bit I've adjusted the prop to flat pitch so we can run it. But anyway, Mark's working on the new design, and this is just a rough drawing here just to give you some ideas. He's made it really simple right now. So we just basically have these washer bearings and to dissipate the thrust forces coming down the prop under acceleration and deceleration. And then we have plain journal bearings in there that are going to stop any sort of lateral or up and down or sort of that sort of movement basically. And all these are just going to be oil fed through the oil feed as we have now, and then plain oil seals on the end, and they're not going to be under any pressure, so just the same oil seals that we've been using on the ends right now. So real simple design and no chance for any sort of movement, and we don't have to worry about the heavy roller bearings and any of that stuff. So he's working on just getting the right parts together right now, sourcing the various bearings and the oil seals for the right sizes, and then he'll be able to put it all together into SolidWorks, and should have drawings over to Barry within about 2.5 weeks, and hopefully have it all machined and then back probably 3.5 weeks after that. So that's exciting, but I'll keep you updated on how we progress with that. And here's the first of those plugs for the main gear doors. So that one's all finished and just ready for the guys to get on there and start doing the first round of sanding. And there's the second one, and that one's finished as well. Just needs to be sort of brushed off there, and the guys can have at it. And Jeff got these larger fuel caps bonded into the lower surfaces of the upper straight skins. So the next step there now is to put the Jeffco sealant on the inside there, and that's what Jeff's doing right here, just painting that on with a brush, so that Jeffco is impervious to different solutions, especially fuel and diesel, and that's what we want in order to seal the tank correctly. And here's Devon busy working on one of the main gear door plugs, just sanding there on the flange. Done most of the field there, except for the bit that covers the wheel there. So anyway, those are coming along, and Zach's busy doing the final wet sanding there on this plug for one of the parachute straps. And I spent the whole of Monday pulling down the part of the engine and putting it back together again, and so Tuesday I needed to get something actually done on the aircraft. So there's that little fixture that I made for drilling out the pin holes for the pin locks for the doors, and there's our drill. So I went around with that fixture and actually drilled all the pilot holes. I didn't get any video of that, unfortunately, but there's the pilot holes all in there now, 1/4 inch. And so using this sintered hole saw now, we can drill these out, and ultimately we'll be making some bushings that'll just basically just taking some rod and turning it down to the right diameter on the lathe, and they'll go in there as a sleeve for the pins. And here you can see there's some more of the ones just with the pilot holes drilled, and just starting out on this one there. So it took me basically the whole day to drill these 14 holes, because I had to go around and do all the pilot holes, and that involved taking my little fixture, pulling it out of the lock, closing the door, drilling the pilot hole, open the door, take the fixture out, put in the next one, and so on all the way through 14. But anyway, I got them all done by the end of the day, and as you can see, Jeff got both of those wing strake surfaces or upper surfaces done with the Jeffco, and he's also put some peel ply on there, just so I guess so it comes off with a nice finish there that he can use for bonding to the ribs in the tank. And these guys got some primer on there, so they're getting close to being able to do the waxing on there. I think they just still need another round of primer on there because I just had the first one, and there's the other one. So moving along fairly quickly because they only just got milled yesterday and they're already in primer, so this is much quicker than we used to do. But again, these are fairly small sort of plugs, so they're not taking that much time. And there's Zach just putting down the rubber profile on the first of those ones for the parachute strap covers. And here's Jeff putting a hole in the tank there so we can put the temp sender unit in there. And it's going to be one in either tank, so we know how warm the fuel's getting from the heat exchanger we have in the engine. And he also drilled out the hole there for where the fuel level sender unit is going to be installed there. And there'll ultimately be a cover over those, so you won't see those in the cabin. There'll be some, inside trim. And there you can see I finished all those holes there, so now I just have to get the sleeves made and bonded into place. And back on the engine, you can see I put a spacer there in between the front of the prop and the two lock nuts there, and what that does is pull the prop into flat pitch, and this way we don't need to have any pressure running through it in order to keep it in flat pitch. So I'll be able to run the engine now and not worry about the governor control or anything like that until we have our new redrive done, because there's still other things that I want to do on the engine, and I still want to learn and get some more instrumentation working and other things like that, and still run some more hours on it even before that new redrive comes. So you can see I've got that all put back in place there, and I just have to fill it up with oil again, because I drained the oil on that just to make sure there wasn't any debris or anything in it. So I'll get that filled up and have it running by the weekend, and you'll probably see some more video of that on Saturday. So that's our update for the first half of this week, and thanks again for watching.